Hey, it's the BNFF Fan Freak here, and we're with our new segment and a new set, as you can clearly see. It's not finished yet, just like my guest set, but it should be finished here by the next show. And this segment is called In Between the Yard Lines. In Between the Yard Lines, we'll recap what happened in the previous week and what's going to be happening this upcoming week. Some of the big events in week one, the preseason week one, that we saw was that we got to see a lot of the rookies' first games, like RG3, Andrew Luck, Brandon Weeden, and Ryan Tannehill. Andrew Luck obviously had the 3-touchdown drive, 2 touchdown passes in his game against the Rams, which they won 38-3 in the final. So Luck looked pretty impressive in his 4 drives out of the 4. Like I said, he scored on 3 of them. As for RG3, he did lead to a touchdown score. He did have a fumble with the running back, but I mean, it was really the running back's fault, not really RG3's fault. But either way, he looked good, pretty well as well. Brandon Weeden was the only quarterback on the rookies list that did not throw a touchdown. However, he only had a few drives. I think he only had 2 drives in his game, so he had less drives than the other 2 quarterbacks who had 3 and 4. So you may see more from him this upcoming week. And as for Ryan Tannehill, he had a touchdown as well. He, I believe, had 3 drives. He might have 2. I'm not really 100% sure. But he looked pretty impressive in his debut for the Dolphins. Another thing we saw in week one was Peyton Manning's first game back since his neck surgery, and he did his first snap not as a Colt but as a Denver Bronco. In fact, we saw 2 drives by Peyton actually. First drive, he didn't really get too far. They got 1 first down, and that was it. And then the second drive, he came out. They drove all the way to about the red zone-ish area. Then Manning tried to hit Stokely, and it bounced off Stokely's hands and was picked off. And that was the end of Peyton Manning's day for his first time back against the Chicago Bears. Also in week one, we got to see a lot of the new coaches come in with Jeff Fisher, Chuck Pagano, Dennis Allen, Greg Siliano. Fisher obviously lost his first game against the Colts. Pagano, the old Ravens defensive coach, took the Colts to victory over that team. Dennis Allen for the Raiders lost to the Cowboys 3-0, and Siliano looked pretty good as well with the other new coaches. The only other important thing that happened in preseason week one was Michael Vick had a hand injury. He hit it on the back of the helmet. I would believe he'll be back before week one for sure. I don't think it'll be too serious of an injury for Michael Vick, and hopefully he can stay healthy for the rest of the year. The only other injury we had in week one was Pat Angerer got injured as well in week one, so he's supposed to be out for the next 6 weeks. As for preseason week 2, what we can probably expect and look forward to is we can possibly see more plays for the rookies and backups to kind of get their roster set to know who they're actually wanting to keep on the team and who they're not. So we may see a couple more snaps here for some of the rookies like Weeden and Tannehill, but as far as some of the starters go, you may see some less snaps as well for this preseason week 2. You'll see a lot of snaps from the backups, kind of get the roster sets, like I said. Another thing you can look forward to in preseason week 2 is Adrian Pearson's return to practice. He actually returned yesterday from his injury, and he's off the PUP list, the physically unable to perform list. So we'll see if he comes back for week 1 or how that all works out for the Minnesota Vikings. I'm sure Vikings fans are hoping Adrian Peterson comes back well. One of the things I'm looking forward to in week 2 are the mini QB battles that are going on. One of them being Colt McCoy and Brandon Weeden, who are battling still. They had talked about they may trade Colt McCoy to try to get some draft picks and let Weeden be the start, but as of right now, Weeden has the starting job, but it is a quarterback battle that's going on week in and week out. Another quarterback battle is Matt Hasselbeck and Jake Locker. Jake Locker, I believe, won this week. Matt Hasselbeck won the week before. Hasselbeck's been really impressed with Jake Locker's progress, and Jake Locker's trying to learn as much as he can from Matt Hasselbeck, a veteran quarterback. So we'll have to kind of see who actually will get the first official start on week 1. But as for right now, it's an ongoing quarterback battle. Another important quarterback battle is between Kevin Kolb and Jake Skelton. Kolb had that rib injury in the Hall of Fame game against the Saints, but is expected to be recovered for this upcoming game. I believe Skelton's getting the start. still for this game, and Cobb will be the backup, but you should probably see still a lot of snaps from both quarterbacks to kind of figure out who might get the starting job. Another quarterback battle that may be ending is between Tarvaris Jackson and Chad Henne on the Seahawks. Tarvaris Jackson, they've had with trade talks about getting rid of him, just like with Colt McCoy and the Browns. So Henne, I believe, has won the job there, but like I said, we'll have to wait and see. And the only other quarterback battle I'm looking forward to is between Ryan Tannehill and David Garrard. Tannehill won last week. We'll see who wins this week. So far, there hasn't been any announcements of who's going to be the starter. So we'll have to kind of see how that one turns out. Another important event that happened this week, and we'll have to look forward to if he comes back for week 1, is Brian Urlacher had an injury. I know he's definitely out for the preseason. They're hoping he'll be back week 1, week 2-ish at the most. But as for right now, we have no really word about his really progress, so we'll have to kind of wait and see how Urlacher comes back, because he's a very key part of that team. Also, to look forward to in preseason week 2 is Antonio Cromartie of the New York Jets, to see if he gets any wide receiver snaps. He's been taking a lot of reps in practice this week as a wide receiver with Tim Tebow in that backup offense, and some snaps in the starting offense as well, to see if he'll get any wide receiver snaps on either one, the backups or the starters. Kind of see if he can be a good double player like Deion Sanders was. We might also see some Tebow time, so since Sanchez will be the starter, he might get just a few snaps, and Tebow may get some more snaps this week to make sure he's actually the guy that this team wants. So maybe we might see some snaps finally with him as the starter as well, like in the Wildcat or maybe on special teams to kind of practice those. For you Olympian fans, Jeff Demps, winner of the silver and the sprints, will be having his first game this week. I believe he's on the Bills. They say he'll get some snaps in there, so it'll be kind of interesting to see how this sprinter does and see if he can be like the other Hall of Fame running backs that have come out of the Olympics. And although I mentioned this in week 1, technically it's another thing to look forward to in week 2. It's Peyton Manning's first home game in Denver, and to see if he'll finally get that hit that everybody's waiting for him to see if he can get up. Not really just looking for a tackle, they're looking for a big hit, obviously, on the networks and stuff. So we'll have to see if Manning finally gets a sack or something to kind of prove that I can take hits, I can be in this league and remain healthy. Another key injury that happened this week was Jason Witten injured his spleen. He's supposedly going to be back, but as for right now, they have no word on how long he'll be out for. So Cowboys fans are obviously hoping he'll come back healthy as possible. As far as the other news, that's all I really had in key news so far this week. I'm looking forward to the preseason week 2 games. I hope you're looking forward to it as well. We're going to have more videos to come. We got another show coming up tomorrow for the Big NFL Fan Freak Show. Actually, it'll be our first one since a year ago. Our first actual Big NFL Fan Freak Show, not just the Big NFL Fan Freak segments. The official Big NFL Fan Freak Show, the first one in a year. So I'm excited for that. I hope you'll stay tuned for it and watch it. And then Saturday we'll have our Storing the League. And then Sunday we can all just watch the games and everything. So hope you keep watching, and I hope you have a good week.